I think the easiest way to get your D&D players excited is to give them fun and interesting magic items, especially when you can actually hand them a card with all the information on it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make the easiest and most impactful props for your D&D table magic item cards. Now, everyone knows that character sheets never have enough space, especially when you start collecting a bunch of cool magic items. And I found that the best solution to that problem is giving my players magic item cards. Not only does it cut down on the me reading the description of the card and them writing it down and them saying, oh wait, what does this part do again? And you just hand them the card with everything on it. It doesn't take up space on their character sheet, and it acts as a cool reward. It's like they're actually getting the magic item in real life. It's exciting for the players, and it really doesn't take that much extra time for me as the game master. Now, the easiest way to do it is to measure out some 2.5 by 3.5 inch cards on a sheet of thicker paper like cardstock and just cut out a bunch of cards. It takes no time at all to write down the name of the item and what it does. And you can even do a quick little drawing so the players get an idea of what the cool magic item looks like. This whole process is super fast. Like you can do a card in a minute or two. But I think this is one of those cases where if you spend just a little bit of extra time to make the card look extra nice, that extra time is going to go a long way. You know, just taking a little bit of time, maybe making a nice simple border and penciling out the words, go a little bit slower and like make the writing look nice. When you hand your player this hand-drawn magic item card, they're just gonna flip out. You know, having an actual tactile representation of a fun magic item is just so cool. Okay, let's talk more about magic items as I draw a few more of these cards. So this month on my Patreon, I'm making a book that is absolutely filled with crazy fun magic items. Actually, it's like 4 magic item shops or like restaurants or markets that are all based around magic food items. It's called Flick Silverpin's Guide to Miraculous Markets. So in my games, I am definitely guilty of handing out lots of magic items. I love coming up with magic items and I want to hand them out to players. But that can get kind of overwhelming, you know, when a player's looking at a absolute ton of cards, plus whatever abilities or spells, they can get overwhelmed with choices. So I have kind of a simple solution, and that is to use single-use magic items. And this way I can give my players kind of even more powerful stuff. In this case, a bunch of cool magic food that has crazy effects, and once they eat it, they use the effect once and then it's gone. So in this Miraculous Markets book, there's 4 shops. The first one is called The Perfect Pack. It's this big rat that sells food to adventurers. So there's stuff like blackstrap hardtack. When you eat it, you can't get cut for D12 hours. Or there's a hearty giant pickle that doubles your HP for D4 hours. Can you tell that I'm still playing Tears of the Kingdom? And then there's the snoozeberry cake. If you eat it, you fall into a deep sleep for 24 hours, but then you don't need to rest for another D6 days after that. The kind of theme to this shop is that all of the food, the magic items that the players can buy, they're all helpful for adventures, for like going out exploring and diving into dungeons and stuff. There's lots of things that you would expect, like these healing items, but then there's also some things you wouldn't expect, some weirder items. And speaking of weirder, the next shop is called Nosher's Monster Grill. It's a cart that this skeleton pushes around and cooks up all these crazy monster parts. And the fun thing about this shop is that all of the magic items have these really cool, awesome effects, but then they also have some very interesting drawbacks as well. So like a fried basilisk's tail, you know, makes your skin tougher, you're harder to hit, but you move much slower. There's also the Scale Stew. It allows you to breathe underwater for a period of time, but you can only speak in wailing song. So I kind of love these magic items that are helpful, but then the drawback isn't something that's detrimental to your character necessarily. It's more of like a fun role-playing drawback. And then there's even weirder stuff like mimic cheese. So this cheese tastes really good, but it causes your character to puke up an amorphous creature that becomes your little sidekick until it melts, and it steals items for you. But the drawback is it's also really eager to turn you into the authorities. So just in case if you're wondering about the tools I'm using, I'll have links down in the description that you can see exactly what I'm using. But I should also say that the tools aren't really important. You can make these cards with just a regular pen or whatever you have. You really don't need anything fancy. These colored pencils I'm using are just like the cheapest possible color pencils that I could find. You don't even have to add color if you don't want to. I'm just doing it for fun because I'm having so much fun drawing these magic items. Okay, anyway, the next shop, actually it's not really a shop. It's called a libation statue. It's these strange holy statues that are scattered around the world, and you can go up to one of these statues and like donate, or I guess maybe like sacrifice an item. You place it into the statue's hands, it puffs into smoke, and then depending on what type of item you sacrificed, you are rewarded with a blessed potion. And what I love about making these monthly Patreon zines is that very slowly I get to world build, and in this case, I'm hinting at different gods that the players might be blessed by. So depending on what type of item you give to the statue will determine which deity blesses the potion that you get in return. So you might get something kind of mundane, like a potion that when you drink it, music plays around you, and the music like expresses the mood that you're in. Or you might get one like the refreshing tonic, where when you drink it, your appearance totally changes into someone that you used to know long ago. And then if you sacrifice more powerful items, you might get a more powerful potion in return. So one that refills your coin pouch to the current amount that's in it when you drink the potion, refills it every day at dawn for however many days. Or maybe you'll be blessed by the noble elixir. When you drink it, you are granted a noble title and land somewhere in the world. The fun part is the player doesn't know where. Okay, so the last shop in the book has some really, really wild magic items. The shop used to be called Agast's Trifles and Trinkets, but now it's called Agast's Treats and Sweets because this wizard who ran the shop miscast a spell and turned all of the magic items in the shop into desserts. And because of the transformation, Agast, the wizard, isn't sure what any of these dessert magic items actually does. So when the players go into the shop, everything just costs 10 gold, which seems like a lot for a dessert, but you're just kind of taking a chance on this random magical effect. So you might buy a magical tart that has a really good effect, where spells that are cast on you are reflected back at the caster for D6 days. Or you might get some sort of cookie that has a sort of good, sort of bad effect, depending on how you look at it. So you might eat this cookie and become incorporeal for D8 hours. Or you might buy some other pastry and the effect is really bad. So when you eat the pastry, all non-magical metal in the surrounding area begins to melt. So yeah, I'm just really having so much fun coming up with all these crazy food-related magic items, and I can't wait to hand out these cards to my players and see what craziness they get up to. The Miraculous Market zine is going to have 40 plus, maybe even 50 plus items in it. So if that sounds cool, check out the link to my Patreon. If you sign up this month, you'll get access to the digital version that'll be out at the end of the month. And if you sign up at the Legend tier, you'll get the physical zine mailed to you when it's done at the printers. If you can't sign up for the Patreon, that is okay. I've made the templates for these magic item cards available for free. You can print them out yourself and go nuts making your own magic items. It's the first link down in the description. And included with the magic item card template is this simple paper craft backpack folder. You can give one to each of your players and they can keep all of their magic items in their backpack. It's best if you print it out on a sheet of thick paper and then you just simply cut on the dotted line and then you're going to score it and fold along the solid line. I just like to use the back of an X-Acto blade to very lightly trace over the solid line. It's kind of like just scratching the paper, and it makes folding it much, much easier. And then you're going to fold the flaps up and glue the tabs to the back side of the backpack part of the paper. I'm using rubber cement, so it'll be really, really sturdy, but you can use a glue stick or double-sided tape, whatever you have. And once it's assembled, you'll have a nice little backpack that you can give your players so they can keep all of their magic item cards nice and organized. I even have a spot on the front of the backpack where they can put their characters' names and keep track of their gold in the coin pouch and how many healing potions they have on the potion hanging from the backpack. I hope this video inspired you to make your own magic item cards and give them to your players. It's really fun, really rewarding. It doesn't take that much time. I hope you're excited about the Miraculous Markets book over on my Patreon. And if you download the magic item template and make your own magic item cards, please share them with me. I'd love to see the cool magic items that you are going to give to your players. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!